own, and it was just finally time for me to do something for me. So I signed up for an open mic and got up there and fell in love with it, and then started taking those stories that I've been telling for years, about my family, and chopping all that fat off of them so that they'll work on stage, and that's how it became storytelling.
Awesome. I'm a storytelling comic too, so I'm glad that we're in the same boat together. And
Yeah. It's definitely, I mean, it's when you're with a bunch of people that know you, your friends, your family, they love you, they'll sit around and wait for you to build up this perfect story because they know in the end what you're going to say is going to be funny. So you get more time with them. With the audience, you do not. So they don't know you. They don't trust that this story is going to end somewhere funny. So you have to hit them quicker with shorter bursts. So that's something that you had to learn.
I saw that firsthand at Laugh of Rock of Daytona,
Yeah, Daytona Live. Yeah, he
Daytona
doesn't
Live.
he doesn't do comedy over there anymore, does he?
Mm-mm.
No,
I
I
wish he
wonder what
did
happened.
though. I only did
Yeah,
the open mic, but oh well, it
yeah, I
happened.
think I didn't see too many shows after me, maybe one or two, and then I didn't see them doing it anymore. So I'm glad I was able to get over there twice, which was great. But I thought it was a great venue for comedy.
Indeed, for sure. And let's see here. You're also you grew up in New Jersey in an
Hmm.
Italian household. So you were married, divorced, single parenthood, dating after 50, being a grandma, and much more. And so tell me more about growing up in New Jersey and all that happened.
Well, I was raised in an Italian household. My mother was Italian. My father was German and Irish, but we really, I know some of my German Irish heritage, but I was really raised in an Italian household. So in Jersey, it seemed like everybody I knew was Italian. I thought everybody was Italian until I got to be a certain age, and then I'm like, wait a minute, you're not Italian, like wait, your mom doesn't make sauce every Sunday, like so it was a great childhood. It was great growing up in a huge family with great traditions and fantastic food. I think part of my personality, part of my loudness, comes from being in the Italian family because everybody is so loud that if you want to be heard, you spoke louder than the next person. And just the Jersey part of it is, people sometimes find that abrasive about me, but I don't feel like it's abrasive. Like I've had people be like, "Stop yelling at me," and I'm like, "I'm not yelling. You'll know when I'm yelling. I'm just loud." So there's a difference. But it was wonderful. We would where we lived, we were 30 minutes out of New York City, so it was really easy to get on a bus or a train and go over to the city. So spent a lot of time in Manhattan, and my daughter lives up there now, and I'll be going to stay with her in June for a whole month in New York. So I'm going to try and do some comedy. Well, that's exactly what I'm going to do, is comedy in New York for the whole month of June. So um, that's it. Growing up Jersey.
Awesome. And growing up in an Asian household like myself, my parents were really loud too, and I'm like, I am totally the opposite of them. I'm like, if it gets to a certain decibel, I'm out of here. Like, I can't.
Yeah, no, I get louder, and some people think that, I'm angry or I'm yelling, but I'm just passionate about what I'm saying. Like if you know me, you'll know the difference between when I'm angry. I mean, to me it's very different. It's my whole face changes. It's a whole different attitude as opposed to me just being loud and passionate about what I'm speaking about.
Hmm. Most definitely. So you talked about staying with your daughter for a month. You're also a grandmother, a sister, a cook, a veteran. comedian, but at the end of the day, you're ginger, and so that's pretty awesome. And well, thank you for serving in the military too.
Thank you.
And which branch did you serve in?
Um, I was in the Air Force. I was in the Air Force from 86 to 96. So I was out of high school 2 years before I went in. Wasn't sure what I wanted to do or where I wanted to go. And my girlfriends and I were down at the Jersey Shore, and we ran into some Navy guys. And so we ended up going back to the base to hang out with them. It was the first time that I'd ever been on a military base. And so I was like 19 or getting ready to turn 19. And the ratio of men to women was in my favor. There was no women there. And I thought, wow, like I felt like a kid in a candy store. And I'm like, I went to the recruiter that Monday, and I talked to the Navy guy for a little bit, but ended up with the Air Force guy. So that's why I joined. Uh, but when I got in, they break you down in basic training, and it really did become a patriotic thing at that point. But that was not why I joined. So I was surprised of how I felt after basic training, the difference there. Now, the ratio of men was still in my favor, but that wasn't really the focus anymore. I got an education, I traveled. It was great.
Awesome. Yeah, they have a huge Air Force base in where I'm from, Colorado, in like Colorado Springs area. There's
Yeah, yeah, I know the name of it, but I can't think of it right now. But that's like a training base also.
indeed, then there are
La is
footballs.
it La no, it's not Lowry. That's not Lowry. I'll remember the name of it before we're done.
Fantastic. I can't tell you either. I'm just like it's on I-25 on the left if you're going up north. So it's like, all right, there it is.
Right, right, right.
so, so you're a rising star in the Southwest comedy scene, and you're quickly becoming a fan favorite. You're one of my favorites, that's for sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You had me in stitches at in Daytona. So, but yeah. So you travel so much in the Southwest. What are some of your favorite places to perform in the Southwest?
My favorite club in all of Florida is Snappers, the one in Palm Harbor, as well as the one in Fort Myers. Um, the reason for that is the people that own it. Uh, when they were the first people to give me an opportunity in a club. I had done, like everybody else does, I've done the breweries in the back of the restaurants and the side little rooms next to the bowling alley, and I've done
Yeah.
all of those. And I went to Snappers, and um, I was promoting a show for a company that had asked me to put on a show and raise some money for them. And so I went to Snappers to say, can I do this fundraiser here? And the owner saw me, and by the end of that show, was like, "What are you doing this weekend?" And I'm like, "Why?" And he's like, "You're featuring." And from that moment on, he has opened every door. He opened up the door, and then I made the most of every one of those opportunities, which allowed me to, continue to get booked. But he saw in me something before others saw it. So it was just that they'll always be my favorite.
Absolutely. I've never performed in any of the farthest I've gone south to perform is Melbourne, I think, and then I need to like at least try some rooms in the south and southwest. We'll see or the southeast. We'll see
Right.
what happens. But it's just such a drive, like 5 hours from where I'm at. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, you know what, but when you're first starting out, you'll drive 5 hours for a 5-minute open mic,
So true.
and, you know, and so I'm over that stage, but I definitely did that in the beginning, but that was easier because I was with a bunch of other people that were also, working the open mic, so, we would all hop in the car together, and that made it really fun. But as everybody has progressed and gotten better, as they should, you know, everybody is gigging, so you don't get to see those people anymore. So, I wouldn't have anybody to even carp if I decided I wanted to go 5 hours to an open mic, I wouldn't even have anyone to ride with me anymore. So, the good and the bad of it. It was definitely fun when we did it though.
Same. Remember a bunch of us Daytona comics when we were young. We did that, but now I'm just like I'm super selective of who I want to ride in my car. I'm like, it's, it's just some people just get on my nerves. I'm like, mm-mm,
Yeah.
I
No,
need to
I feel you.
focus.
I feel you. I feel you.
Indeed. So you got a couple like nominations for a couple things. The 2021 and 2023 Best of the Big Comedian nominee, 2022 Top 40 World Series of Comedy finalist, 2022 Top 25 Florida Funniest Comedian finalist, 2023 winner Summer Comedian Festival, Broadway Comedy Club in New York too. So
Right.
that is a lot. So congratulations on all that stuff.
Thank you.
What's your some of your favorite memories from all those stuff?
It's the people that you meet along the way and the opportunities that you get. So it's not um, every one of those contests, whether you win or not, you just don't know who's going to see you in them. So even if you don't advance to the next round, there's an opportunity there. There's an opportunity every time you get on that stage. So, um, that's definitely the memories from that is just who I met along the way and where I went after that.
Indeed, yeah, that's beautiful things. Like I said, you just never know who's in the audience and who's a booker, who's a producer,
Right,
and all that
exactly.
stuff. Yep, and that's what I love most about comedy. It's like maybe you're performing in front of strangers, but there's someone special in that room that'll open doors for you. So,
Right,
yep,
exactly.
indeed. So I'm gonna list off the places that you performed. So bear with me. This is a lot. So you performed at the Broadway Comedy Club in New York, New York, the Loft Comedy Zone in Columbus, Georgia, the Block Comedy Zone in Fort Walton Beach, Florida, Wasani's Comedy Zone, Port Charlotte, Florida, McCurdy's Comedy Club, Sarasota, Florida, the Improv in Tampa, Florida, the Improv in Orlando, Florida, which is now the Funny Bone in Orlando, Snappers Laugh in Fort Myers, the Spitfire in St. Petersburg, Porky's Comedy Club in St. Cloud, Off the Hook Comedy Club in Naples, Side Splitters in Tampa, Snappers Comedy Club in Palm Harbor. Shout out to them for giving them your opportunity. Jackie Knights in St. Augustine, Florida, the Dojo of Comedy, Morris Plains, New Jersey, and multiple showcases throughout Florida. This is impressive resume. I'm so jealous because I'm like me. I'm just like dive bar, theater, and my two festivals, and then rarely any club appearances.
Yeah, and it's when you're reading that off, I'm like, wow, that's a lot, but it's just isn't enough yet. I'm not. I mean, ultimately, I want to hit every one of these clubs here in Florida. I'm not necessarily looking to be a road comic out there. I just that's not the route that I want to take. But I do want to continue to work in Florida and private gigs and the clubs around here. I mean, there's enough to be able to rotate through and keep my year full. And in a couple of years, eventually get into the cruise ships and be in that rotation, and that would make me happy.
Most definitely. Indeed. So we had to breeze through that because I only have you for 15 more minutes. So for Act Two, these are the usual questions that I ask all the comics that I've interviewed. And there's like 700 interviews on my YouTube channel. Like my buddies were blown away by that number. I'm like, hey, I can't help it. It just happened. So with that being said, what inspired you to perform stand-up comedy?
There's a lot of things. I've always been a performer. My I come from a family of musicians, so you were always uh, somehow involved in that. My children were raised in community theaters performing. I used to sing with the band, so there was always some kind of way to be on stage. I always wanted to do comedy. Um, I didn't even know that something like a comedy open mic existed. So now I didn't ask a lot because I just didn't know, and then I happened to meet a person that used to book clubs back when, Kevin Hart was an open micer, when DL Hughley was an open micer, and he helped me. And once he told me what I needed to do and where to go, then it was time to start. But if you see, there's a picture behind me. I don't know if you can see. Let me just turn my camera a little bit there. That picture in the background there. Do you see that?
Yeah.
So that's Adele Givens in the middle there. So I had, and there's one with DL. So I had when I was in the Air Force, I was stationed in Germany, and that was when all of the Def Comedy Jams were going on, the original set of Def Comedy Jams with Martin Lawrence. And so people would send over VHS tapes the with the shows on it. And so on a Friday or Saturday night, we'd sit in someone's dorm room and drink and eat and watch Def Comedy Jams. So that's when I saw Adele Givens, and she was the first female comedian that I had ever seen that was raunchy and just, girl locker room kind of talk. And I loved her. And my comedy is more in line with her kind of style. But she was up at the Tampa Improv not too long ago. And I went up to go see her. And, I've been trying to meet her and trying to meet her and, would love to get on a show with her. But we go up there to see her, and nobody that I know happens to be in the improv that night. So I'm like, well, how am I going to get around? But I can't figure out a way to meet her. So then as we're leaving, there's a gentleman that is selling her merchandise. So I start talking to him. First I asked him if I could meet her, and he said, yeah, she's not meeting anybody because of the COVID. Blah, blah. Okay, I understand. So I tell him that story that I just told you about watching her from the military barracks. And when I got done, he said, you know what? Let me bring you to her. And that happened to be her husband, and I didn't know it. So he brought me right upstairs, which is where that picture's from, to meet her. I got to talk to her for about 10 minutes. And then during that conversation, I was able to tell her one or two of my jokes and got her laughing. And that was just awesome. It was great to be able to do that. And then the picture with DL. Let's see. And so I tell you, my friend that used to work with booking. DL was at the Improv in Tampa, and so my friend brought me over. Now I was only a couple of months in at that point, so I didn't know what I was doing, but brought me over to the Improv to watch DL. And afterwards, he said, "Okay, so when he gets off the stage, we're gonna just step behind him. We're gonna walk with him and his security up to the green room." And I was in a panic. I didn't even know what a green room was, at that point. And and so he comes off the stage, and my friends go, go. And so we start walking. I'm walking behind him. We get on the elevator at the Improv. And as soon as the elevator doors close, it's me, my friend, D.L. Hughley, and two of his bodyguards in this elevator. And I'm terrified. And I'm like looking down. I don't know what to say. And finally he's like, hello. And I'm like the freshman at the senior table. I'm like, hi. And that was about the end of our conversation. So it's just like I'm like if I could get him as an audience now, it would be blah 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 blah. Blah. And unfortunately, my dear friend passed away. So I'd have to send the picture to DL and be like, can I come back and talk to you?
Indeed. Good stuff. And so, what was it feeling like when you first performed stand up?
um, like I found home, like it's where I belong.
Indeed, for sure. That's how I feel too.
Yeah.
And what are some of your favorite comedy specials and comedy record albums?
Well, all of the all of the original Def Comedy Jams, every one of them. I love Adele Givens, Bernie Mac, um, Dave Chappelle. I love every one of them. Um, I recently went to see, was it the Tampa Arena, and it was Cedric the Entertainer and uh, who else was there? Earthquake, and I'm losing my mind now. I can't remember who else was there, but um, I just loved it all.
Absolutely. A couple of those folks have been on TV and film. And what are your favorite sitcom sketch shows and comedy films?
My favorite comedy films, definitely, uh, Eddie Murphy, Boomerang, or Coming to the America. Uh, so without a doubt. Um, I'm not really into that sketch comedy. So I wasn't a fan and I know people are going to tell me I'm ridiculous, but I wasn't a fan of Dave Chappelle in a sketch comedy. I love his stand up. I absolutely love his stand up, but that slapstick thing, uh, that doesn't do it for me. Not at all. And then the early years of Saturday Night Live, with the original Saturday Night Live stuff. That was awesome.
And sitcoms?
Sitcoms. God, I don't have a sitcom. Yeah, when I watch television shows, it's like they're not funny like The Sopranos and Sex in the City, that kind of stuff, but not like a family sitcom that comes on every week.
Indeed, I feel you. They don't make them like they used to. That's for sure. I
Yeah,
just
when I was a little kid, the Brady Bunch. I mean, what? I Love Lucy. I Love Lucy. I'll still watch. So
there
there's a
you go.
sitcom.
Awesome. Yep, my mom loves that. And it was just I love like I Love Lucy too, like the whole chocolate scene when that's
Yeah, you
on the
can't beat
conveyor belt. Yeah,
you can't beat it.
no way. And if you can go on tour with any comedian locally and internationally known, which comedians would you like to go on tour with?
Adele Givens, first and foremost, Adele Givens, um, and then after that, oh God, if he was doing stand up, Eddie Murphy. Uh, if he would ever get out there and do stand up again, without a doubt.
Even local comics that you'd go on tour with?
Local comics that I've gone to. Well, I've worked with Dean Napolitano before. He is fantastic. I love working with him. Johnny Mac, I love working with. Um, L.A. Hardy is fantastic. So that's just to name a few.
Absolutely. Indeed. And let's see, if you can get roasted by five comedians, top five, dead or alive, which comedians would you have to get roasted by?
None. I don't roast. I don't roast. I don't like them. I don't participate in them. The reason being is that um, I can dish it, but I can't take it in that scenario. So, roasts, they come after, those things that bother you. Like if you think you've got a crooked nose, then they'll call you crooked nose bitch or whatever. And I won't think that's funny. I'll respond in Jersey and we'll be fighting. So because I know this about myself, uh, I don't participate in them because I will not put out there something that I can't deal with coming back. So I don't care who they are. No.
My first show ever was my roast, and it's on YouTube. It's like almost 700 views, and they just went for the kill. And I'm like, I just have these really soft jokes, but they hit. So like,
Yes, no, that's why listen, I know a lot of comedians do them. I will not participate in them. And that's okay. Let them do it. Don't come after me because I'm not coming after you. Let's not do that, you
yeah,
know?
I just wanted to get it out of the way. I'm like, all right, I'm done with that.
No, no. I'm good.
That's right. And where do you see your comedy journey in the next 5 years?
Just like I said, I want to be on the cruise ships. That's the ultimate place that I want to be. That just the lifestyle of it, the just the energy, the audiences. I love to cruise, so and it just just seems like a great way for me to retire from the one job and make that the other job. So
Absolutely. Good stuff. And which other forms of comedy would you like to venture off into, like improv, sketch, comedy writing, acting, directing, etc.?
I've done acting. I like doing the acting. I do a lot of musical parodies, so I enjoy doing that. Um, I the improv, I think that we do improv every day in life. I feel like I'm always improv. But the first place I go is to the gutter. So, uh, it, I don't know how well I would do in an improv situation because every skit would end up in the gutter by the end of it. We'd keep ending up in the same place. Um, and, yeah, that's it.
Awesome. I need to check out some of your musical parodies. I have a song that I do too in Daytona, and I've sang it so much that the comics know the words, and
Mhm.
sometimes they finish my lyrics for me, and they hold their lighters up. I feel like Axl Rose on stage every time. It's just the best feeling,
Yeah,
and
mine
it's one of
yeah,
the
my
filthiest songs ever. So
yeah, mine's pretty filthy. Mine's pretty filthy, and it's a song parody to, Tina Turner's "Proud Mary." So, instead of, rowing by the river, we're blowing by the river. So that's where the lyrics go, but when I do it on stage, I am straight up Tina Turner, flipping my hair and dancing around, and, usually have the entire audience singing and clapping along. So, but I've gotta be careful with the audience I do that with. The older people don't like to do that. But, I can feel them out, before I have other songs that I sing to them.
that's good. I thought my song was dirty. It's a parody of "Puddle of Mud." She hates me, and the song title is "I Masturbate Me," and it's
It's
and
right up there with mine.
yeah, and like you gotta see like when we do a show together in Daytona, and you'll see him sing along. It's heaven. And what's your favorite joke a comic has written?
My my favorite joke is an Adele Givens joke, and, this is on her the first time I saw her on Def Comedy Jam, and she's talking about the fact that her lips are so big, if she gives you a blowjob, it's like giving a whale a Tic Tac, uh, and I love it.
I love it too.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
great.
she's awesome.
I need to go see her. I just I
Have
have
you
yet
have you
to.
have you ever seen her?
Mm-mm. I've
Okay,
seen her
so
on Def Comedy
if
Jam, but that's about it.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You can go catch if people haven't watched the original Def Comedy Jams, I know they're available, like, on Amazon Prime. I don't know what they cost to rent, but the original ones, season 1, season 2, season 3, where you're getting, Bernie Mac as a beginning comic. I mean, Bernie Mac comes out with these jeans on that are all airbrushed, and this whole Bernie Mac thing. I mean, just all of 'em, Chris Tucker, they're all so young. Dave Chappelle they're all so young and so much talent just ready to burst out, and you don't know it at that point, you know? I mean, you saw something, but you had no idea how big they would get. So it's cool.
That's what I love about stand up. You never know where they're going to be in 5 years. They could be on a cruise ship. So
Yeah, but it's so different now, because you have people that are on YouTube or TikTok, and so they're YouTube famous or they're TikTok famous. And being TikTok famous doesn't necessarily make you a good comedian, but they're being booked at places like the Improv or the Funny Zone because they have so many followers on that platform that their followers are coming out to see them, but they're not really comics. So, more
there,
power to them. They figured out a way to do it. It just, I just think there needs to be a little more respect for the craft uh, itself.
they're good for the first night of show, but next four, forget about it. So
Yeah.
they're not like us. So,
Right, right. Right, yeah,
so
yeah, they're not working the garage show. What is wrong with them?
absolutely. That's why I never want to be a social media star. Um, yeah. And let's see here. What experience would you like your audience to take with them after your set is over?
Uh, I want them to just walk around and be like, "Man, she was fucking funny. She was fucking funny." I definitely would come see her again. I think, people that have never seen me before, I think they're shocked when I get up there. I'm not doing things to be like, shock. I think they see me going up there as a middle aged woman, and, I'm usually in a dress and my hair is done and my makeup's done. So you're thinking might be coming up there to be like your PTA mom telling, jokes, and the first thing that comes out of my mouth is something raw, and you're like, I wasn't expecting that. And you know, that's I like that. I just want you to walk away and say like, damn, she was really good, and I wasn't expecting that.
Awesome. And final question, and right there at 32 minutes. And so, uh, this is a stand-up speakeasy. So, in order to be in here, you got to be nominated. So, with that being said, Ginger, which five comics in your circle would you like to see on a future episode of the stand-up speakeasy?
Tara Zimmerman, if you haven't had her yet. CP Post, if you haven't had her yet. Uh, let's see, Gordon Dixon, um, Jay Legend, and now we got to get down to the last one, Larry Venturino.
Awesome,
So that's five.
fantastic. So, shoot me all their social media infos, and I'll reach out to all of them and put them on the show as much as I can. So, thank you so much, Ginger. Are there
No,
any
I certainly
shows you'd like
will.
to plug in? Awesome. Are there any shows you'd like to
Well,
plug in before we go?
I've got some shows coming up. Let's see. Let me just pull up my calendar real quick.
Okay.
I have Let's see. This next week, or this week though, after Thanksgiving, the 24th and the 25th, I'll be at, Palm Harbor, Snappers. Then Thursday, the 30th, so that's the Thursday after Thanksgiving, I'm headlining at the Sunshine City Comedy Club in St. Pete. And then on the 8th and 9th of December, oh my God, where am I? I don't even know where this place is. So uh, go follow me at Ginger Kelly Comedian, at Ginger Kelly Comedian on Facebook and Instagram. And I post all of this stuff all the time.
Awesome, fantastic. You can find me every Wednesday at the Turnanog Irish Pub in Daytona Beach, DJing for the comics and closing it out. And the Sreth Fest Music and Comedy Festival Daytona Beach tryouts is December 27th. And I will be hosting and DJing and tryout for Sreth Fest 4 in Daytona. So yeah. And then book us all our social media infos on the description box below. Any final words, Ginger?
Um, yeah, next time you're having some kind of festival, let me submit a video, as opposed to coming out this way. I'm just coming out for the main part of the festival as opposed to the audition rounds, so that I'm only making one trip out to Daytona. So that's my final word with you. No.
Indeed. Well, I'll let you in on a cheat code. If you want to, I don't watch submission videos and I don't accept submission fees. So, the only way is, if you can't make it out to Daytona, put me on a show, pay me. That's it.
Put you on a show, babe. Yeah, listen, I'm not booking anymore.
Oh,
I was booking shows, but I stopped, because I was spending more time doing that than I was writing my own comedy. So I needed to reevaluate and adjust where I wanted my energies to go. So I'm not planning on doing any more producing, at least for the immediate future. So we'll see.
for sure. Yep. So, yep, my 2024 is wide open until July and October. So those are my two festivals. All right.
I will thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Awesome, Ginger. You too. I will see you soon. And thank you so much for being my guest on the Stand Speakeasy. And
All
be
right.
well, everyone. Take care of each other. We'll see you all soon.
Thanks. Thanks.
Awesome.
Bye